let's take a step back. I know that you've been in my world for about 8 months before you were like, okay, let's come on in. Tell me what series of events and how was your journey like? How did you stumble upon this crazy world of making money online and then doing it in a way where you're helping your people? And we have for you, it's very unique because you don't even teach English speakers. So that's really specific,
Right.
and I also want to get into that. So like what's the origin story of Cliff? And let us know, like, how did you get into this crazy space?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit of myself. So my name is Cliff. So yeah, I came to this country about 20 years ago, following the American dream. I did everything by the book. I went to school, got the education, and ended up getting my degree. Right. Started working like I got my first job, second job, third job, until I found my dream job. So I was in tech. I was a senior engineer for a pretty big tech company, Citrix. So I was with them for 8 years. Two promotion. I was in line for my third promotion. Then, so I got this text message from my boss inviting me to a meeting, and I was so excited. I'm like, great, there you go, my third promotion. So I got to work all excited because he invited me to a meeting. But when I got to the meeting, something was weird. Something was pretty odd. Like I got in the room, I felt like I was attending like a funeral, like straight up funeral. And I'm
Oh,
looking around and like in the room and I'm seeing like extra security. So as I like sat down in my chair, my boss looked at me and said, Clifford, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to let you go today. So Kim, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't ready for that. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Yes, it was a good job. I was getting paid, pretty okay, but I was living paycheck to paycheck at that time. My wife had just migrated to the US and I had small kids, my mom living with me, other family to support as an immigrant. And now I'm thinking like to myself, I have to go and tell all these people that I lost my dream job. So I felt like
mm.
my world ended. And the only thing that was kind of positive, but I was still unclear what I was gonna do with my life. When I opened that folder that they gave me, I had a severance package for $35,000. So this is when I decided I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna go on with my life. I want to take control of my life. I want to take control of my destiny because I felt like I work at this company, gave so much of myself, and then somebody decided to turn off my income as if they were just turning off a light switch. They didn't care what I was gonna do, what I was gonna eat, how I was gonna feed my family. So I'm like, I got to take control of my destiny. But sometimes you feel like you hit rock bottom. But this is when I'm gonna realize that there's a layer below rock bottom. So I got up 30 days later. That $35,000 check that I deposited on my account was gone,
Oh
garnished by
no.
American Express because I had an old debt that was unpaid, and they decided to come after me for that, and they garnished all of my bank accounts. So I was lost. Um, but after going through so many different, shocking moments and thinking and crying and all, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep moving forward with having my own business. So I started looking for flexible work. I did Uber for a while, and I got into the whole agency thing, like helping businesses to build. Since I have a pretty solid tech background, and I'm gonna help people, with their online presence, and that's how I got into the whole online world, helping businesses. But then over the years, I've learned and learned and learned, and I got into coaching as a result of people reaching out to me asking me questions because during COVID, I helped my wife with her e-com, and it blew up like six figure in between, like right in the middle of COVID. And that's pretty much what got me into coaching. And I started coaching people since, I'll say like end of 2020. So That's pretty much a little bit of my story. Without adding too many details.
I love that. So you and guys, if you're listening in and you've ever had the rug being pulled underneath your feet, that someone can just be turning off your income like they turn off a light switch. If you've ever
Yeah.
had that happen to you, let me know. And you know, really, it's in this day and age, if we have one central source of income, it becomes a pretty big liability because people are getting laid off left and right, even like right now, right? And so your decision, in a way, it pushed you into a figuring it out on, and then you figured out how to blow up your wife's ecom store, which is amazing. With that said, so okay, so now you're teaching people how to. You blew up your wife's ecom store, and you start teaching people how to have an ecom store and how to grow the ecom store.
Right.
And walk me through what happened from that point to now. You know, why not just have a bunch of ecom stores? Why not just do that? Because somewhere along the way you stumbled upon learning about, you know, a few of us. I know you're in Doug's program, my friend over there. How did you come into, okay, I know this, I'm helping people do this, but what led you into our world specifically? And what was the thing that made you go, oh, I want to try it out, I want to figure that out?
Yeah. So I actually met Doug in 2021. I was part of one of his challenge, and I'm like, this challenge thing makes sense. I mean, he got my attention there. And then he taught me how to host my challenges, and that's how I started getting some traction.
Mhm.
But then, started growing like slowly, moving up, moving forward, and came across you was mostly because I have a Facebook group that wasn't moving much, so I tried the group. Is it GroupConvert extension? It's called
Yeah,
the
group
browser extension. Yeah, which was pretty cool because I can ask questions, I can ask them for their emails, and then I can get their emails and get it over to my active campaign. So which was pretty cool, and that did help with getting more leads, and I was part of your challenge. The first challenge I didn't really like stick around. I think I did 3 or 4 days. But then, like, I must say, your follow up system is pretty good. I wanna that's goal for me. That's where I want to be at. And I kept on getting some messages. I wanted to be at the Tulu Mastermind, but unfortunately, I had just found out that my password had expired, so I couldn't make it. I'm like, oh well. And then I got a text message for the Miami Mastermind. And I know, I mean, of course, in between, I do follow you, so you're live. I'm paying attention. I'm just not raising my hands. I'm just like, I'm being like a spy in the background, but I'm seeing all the good stuff that you're talking about, the contents, the client testimonials, and all. And when I get the message for the Miami Mastermind, I'm like, of course, I'm here, so I might as well. Then I scheduled a call, and one of the things also that did surprise me a whole lot is because it was you on the Zoom. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a salesperson. So I mean that was a plus for me, honestly. And I'm like, you're taking care of your people. You're showing up sometimes. I know it's not gonna be all the time because that's how it is. So many people to take care of. But that led me to the Miami Mastermind, which was a big eye opener because I'm at this stage where I'm really growing. Business is growing, and I felt like the pieces that I'm missing, you actually have my missing puzzles, which is mostly like systems, and refining my challenge, my sales process. And I had the chance to meet with Larry, which is like a sales beast. I mean, we're doing so much right now with Larry because I took his script, translating it in Creole for my salesperson. Because honestly, I have a sales guy. He's doing okay with just me training him, like freestyle training. I'll tell the customer this or that or that, you know. And we got to review one of his call with Larry, which is your sales coach. And it was great. And we translated the script. Now we're using the script. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're gonna spend some time on it, but he's seeing the difference already. So pretty much, I know I gave a lot more details, but yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I love that because I know that have been running challenges. You have, been monetizing from your community. And one part that we do teach is how do you run a challenge and how do you go and you pitch. But that part you already kind of were doing. So the next level that you were interested in looking into was, hey, now that I have this vehicle of making income, how do I make it better? How do I tweak it? And when you I just hear a little bit of background noise, so I don't know if that's
Sorry, let
me.
me. Yeah, it started raining. I don't know if it's my mic.
Maybe just a little bit, but you saw that we had systems in place. Can you talk, and one of our sales coaches, Larry, he was able to work with you and do a call review and help guide your salesperson. And you said that made a difference. Now, in terms of how you did $60,000, was that something that you worked up to? Was it what just for the audience to have more of like details? Let's get into the details. I always like to get into the details and not have it be too far up. Looking down, because that's the value of these interviews. It's to shift beliefs, because a lot of people won't believe that you sell 60,000 from a week of work. It's kind of very mind-blowing. Even me saying it out loud, if I were to tell my past self years ago that this is possible, I would think that that's kind of nuts and crazy. So can you kind of break down, hey, I've been doing it for this long. It took me this much and I tweaked this. So let's get into some details, because the people who are watching this are current clients as well. And so I love to get into the details and not be so high level. So Cliff, what are the few things you felt like you did really right when you were tweaking things for this past time that you pitched one to many? And yeah, like what are the things that you felt like that shifted things and made things good for you?
Yeah, so I'll say, can you hear me well? No
Yeah,
noise?
no noise.
Yeah, so yeah, one of the things was to really understand what your people want. And not only that, at the mastermind, this was so powerful. Like, it's, the operating system. Because before meeting Larry, I used to think like I have to study the perfect script and what to say so that I can become like the perfect salesperson. So it's not so much about, like memorizing a script or what to say. It's more of like installing that operating system and be in the state of mind where, okay, like, I'm gonna go after the sale, but I don't need the sale. It doesn't matter if it happens or not, and people can feel that energy. It's not just like, oh, enroll in my program. Go ahead and enroll in my program, So understanding sales a lot better was a big shift for me, to really, understanding what people want and helping them make a decision. Because it's one thing, I mean, they need it, but sometimes it's hard for them to even make the decision of enrolling in something that can change their lives. So this was one of the key things for me when it comes to like this past challenge, and that's why I had a much bigger result than I ever had. Now it's funny, like when you said that, because me, this type of numbers, this type of results, I used to think like when people are saying these things, they just want to scam people on the real. Like I'm like, you cannot sell $60,000 in just one day. I feel like a shot got to be a lie. And me seeing myself having this result, and the thing is, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even happy with the result because I went, I aimed higher. I mean, it's okay. Like it's all good because it's all about the impact also that I'm making in my community because I work with a very specific niche. But again, I used to think like this result that I'm getting when I used to hear people saying these things, I used to think like, these are all scams. Like you can't make that much money in just a day or a week. And now that I'm producing it, I'm like, man, like there's no limit really. Once you become clear on how you can help people, this is something that I teach as well. Your business, your program, it has to you have to see it in an angle where you're solving problems. When you really solve problem, I know that might sound cliche, but when you really solve problem, now it's just a matter of finding people that have that specific problem, and your money will be unlimited, like truly unlimited, you know. And I feel like if I could do 60, I could probably do 120. I just have to double down on the stuff that works. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of like wanted to have a quick talk with you too for maybe a decision that I have to make for my next challenge, which is next month. But yeah, it's a matter of double down. And now my biggest challenge is, which I'm happy that I'm learning this stuff in your program, which is hiring people. Now I have like at least I don't know, 12 people in my team, like contractors and all that do different type of stuff. It's hard for me. I'm like I'm like, oh my god, like am I really managing all these people? How am I gonna do that? So leadership and team building is key for me, and system is so important. So that way we could do less work but not more. And funny enough, even before I got into the program, I try to replicate the way you enrolled me in your program. My own. So I went and signed up for JotForm. I went and signed up for PindaDoc. And now we have a much smoother process. I mean, it's not where it needs to be yet, but it's a lot better from, like the time I attended the mastermind.
Yeah, that was a little bit over a month ago. In fact,
yeah, a little bit over a month ago. Yeah.
March. Yeah, almost end of March. So yeah, what happened in that month? How many people? You said systems. So I instead of when you say systems, it's as maybe as like what as doing 60,000 right in a week or in a day for some people, because they're like, what does systems mean? So you got into the program for systems, to figure out systems. What did that look like to you? What did you start doing, and what are the things you consumed? You said even before you got into the program, you started kind of replicating how you got enrolled. So can you walk us through what are the things that you picked up in terms of systems, and how did you implement these systems?
One of the things that I did was to involve my team with the people that signed up for the challenge. I guess that created more trust. And I created a video. And I think you told me to do that, if I recall. I recorded a video telling people like, I'm gonna leave you with one of the best person in my team. You're gonna be chatting with someone else, but I'm in the background. I'm here. In order for me to give a great service, I have to have a team. So know that that person is gonna take great care of you. And we did that with a whole bunch of people. I think that that became part of our process, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah. So I mean, so many different little things that created more trust, because at the end of the day, um, we can help them. I mean, what we do it well, and it's not only about that. It's like, how can you create the trust so that people can feel like, okay, I should do this. Look like this person can really help me, right? Even the client interview that we're doing right now, I'm gonna start doing them. I have my first one scheduled on the first. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I tell people, like, I model success. So I'm gonna do what I see you're doing and Doug's doing. I shut down this part of my brain, because you are there. You are where you are right now because you know the stuff that I don't know, and I can't do the stuff that I don't know. So I have to get better. I have to learn. When I learn from you, then I'm gonna be able to do those stuff. And by doing this stuff, then I'm gonna get the result that I'm supposed to get.
Yeah.
So that's like ABC. But we always, like, we try to go beyond that, and try to do, crazy and impossible stuff. So I'm gonna replicate almost everything that you do. Just so you know.
You're so funny. Yeah, so when you said, hey, systems, hey, what worked was, you told me create more trust. So one thing is protocols, if this happens, then I'm going to put this in place. So to the systems that you're talking about, one way is, hey, Kim creates assets to form trust. If someone else is doing the sales call, if someone else is doing the closing, I want to bridge that trust from me to them. And before, you said you weren't doing that.
No.
They were just going to, if they needed a sales call, they were just going to go straight to your closer, and there's
Right.
not that bridge in
Right.
between. Okay, cool.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's one thing that's tactical. Another thing you said is, our follow-up game is pretty big. So we hit you up pretty consistently, even
And I'm
after.
doing that myself too. I'm trying to, to do better when it comes to follow up. Because you helped me realize that I was doing pretty good in finding new people, but I have like hundreds of people that went through my challenge that are happy. Maybe they didn't purchase at that time, but now they might be ready to purchase, and that's why now I have one person that's kind of like helping me with that project, which is like, building a more like a better follow-up system, using the right tools as well to, going back to the people that already have some type of trust in my program, because they spent a whole week with me. They were excited and everything. So that's just one side note.
So follow-up systems, trust building system. And then what about, you said you start signing up for PandaDoc and JotForm and all of that. Before, was it like really manual for you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because when you see system, when I mean, to me, when I say system, I really mean like strategy, tactics, and tools, right? So, what is the strategy, which is more like on a higher level, and then the tactics, which is like you get more to like maybe like details, like creating a group chat with my prospects. That's like a tactic that I picked up from you out of many of them. And then the tools, and funny enough, I just started using call loop, and I love it. So now when people sign up into my challenge, and then in the funnel, they get this call. They get this call with my voice, which is pretty cool. So I'm telling you, I'm gonna do everything that you do except the hair. I won't have any hair, unfortunately, but I'm gonna have it all. So yeah, so tools as well, and also for fulfillment, which is with the PendaDoc, the jot form, so that I can do my onboarding process. That way it's a lot easier because now my salesperson can pull up PendaDoc. We have a contract that's set up already, and then he could put in the numbers, put in the stuff, and then we have, we're still building it. It's not perfect, but we're building a few automations in the background that can start certain stuff when people, once they make the deposit. That way we can get the ball rolling without having like people having to do a whole lot of interaction, like certain emails, the coaching schedule, and things like that.
Yeah, think like more less touch points. So
Yeah.
if someone puts on a deposit, there's just going to be less back and forth. It
Mm-hmm.
the right people are notified, and then they get onboarded and they get going. So I love that. And that a lot of times we think it's all the things we should add, but it's also the tasks and the steps that we should subtract. Like not a lot of bunch of emails back and forth. And yeah, I remember when you were in Miami. You're still in Miami. We're both in Miami right now, but you were like at my mastermind, and we saw that you were doing things super manual, and we were like, oh, well, if you can save time doing this, then it would be worth your coming in and us helping you. And then little did I know that you picked up a lot of. I love doing these interviews also, Cliff, because it shows me what are the things that you picked up out of everything we have. We have like a lot, right? So doing these interviews helped me figure out, oh wow, you took that piece and you did this, and you took that piece and you did that. And it's pretty it's great feedback as well. That's why I do these interviews, for me to know what are the pieces that move clients along faster than other pieces. So I do want to ask you about, okay, so you jumped on sales call with Larry, you have your sales call review, you start implementing, you implement quite quickly. You're very fast. It's only been a little bit over a month, but you've managed to put all these things in place. What is it that made you go as fast as you did as you're coming into the program? Because, some people take their time, some people are a little bit longer. But for you, you take such massive action that led you to where you are today, and there's a reason for that. So can you tell me, when you got in, like, what did you start doing right away? I know you start jumping onto some coaching calls right away. And did you watch videos? Did you, or is it mostly the Slack channel that helped you? What are the pieces that you consumed of the program that enabled you to move the way that you move? Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself again.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that you're not getting any noise from my side. Yeah, so it was a combination of a few things. By the time I met with Michael, I had already watched like a bunch of videos, um, and they are pretty good, and they're straight to the point and short. Because yes, I don't have a lot of time to watch fluff, and the videos are pretty good. And also meeting with Michael was super helpful. He helped me to stay focused on the right thing, the next, my very next action, the next thing that I should be doing. Also, with the sales with Larry, and not only that, like my team, I wouldn't be able to do that without having a small team, um, dedicated team. And also I'll say it's good leadership. You have to lead by example, because some of the stuff I did myself. I'm pretty technical. I try not to touch the technical stuff, and sometimes I can't help it. Like the call loop, I did it all by myself, you know. Um, but yeah, it's a combination of a few things, and I mean, I think in business we have to be hungry. I'm just hungry. I want the success. I want to make things happen, and I might get my 2 comma award this year. I mean,
Let's
that would
go.
be that would be great. I think I'm in line for that. So yeah, it was a combination of a few things, definitely.
Yeah, so you watch a bunch of videos. The videos were bite-sized. You could
Yeah,
consume it. You showed up to the sales call.
shut up to the call. Yep.
You said it was leadership. What are you talking about that? What do you mean by that specifically? Like leadership?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm pretty focused when it comes to my business. I try
Mhm.
to avoid shiny object syndrome,
Mhm.
and I try to remove stuff before ones, right? So now, if my team, if they're seeing how focused I am, then they almost have no choice but to be focused as well. So
Mm.
and then also, like encouraging them, being there, and be involved in the process, coming up with a plan. That's something that I started doing this year. I meet with my team every day at 9 a.m.
Mhm.
Not everybody, but at least the people that you know touch, like the people that do touch things that we use on a daily basis, kind of like sales, the marketing, and my account managers. That way, I know, okay, is there, like, if anybody in my program having issues and what's going on. My sales guy, is he having any type of issue? Is he getting enough appointments, enough leads? Because these two things that I mainly do is like the challenge, and I started like doing like sales call this year. It's brand new to me. It's like 3 months. So far, so good. And this is the part that Larry is helping me to grow. And I'm excited because if my guy can enroll, quite a lot of people in the months to come, and I'm doing my challenge on my side, so we both are gonna pour in people into my program, and I could easily see how we can, you know, turn our business into like a 7-figure a year business, like easily.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it. I see it. If as long as you're consistent, you have your sales guy going, you train him, you train another guy, they're good. It's only a matter of how many book calls and how many closed deals, and then combine with your challenge, which sells sometimes without sales calls, right?
Yeah.
So you have.
And just to tell you, like the 60K was just challenge. So I did more that month. I did more like this month. If we add on the sales call, so there was another 15. That was just my sales guy doing his thing. So that was only like through the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the sales calls were generated after the challenge or during the challenge?
No, this was before the challenge actually, because I do one-on-one off calls, like people that see me, they see my contents, and they schedule a call, and then he gets these calls. That's outside of the challenge.
Okay, got it. I love
Yeah. And then one thing that we do, like if you don't enroll in the program, like he would downgrade them into my challenge. And then he gets a better chance to close them during the challenge and after the challenge. Oh, this is another big thing that I learned from you.
that. Okay, let's go. What is
This
it?
was a big one. I mean, we closed like 3 or 4 people in the middle of the challenge. That was new to me. Like people don't have to wait. And in my head, people had to wait after the challenge before they enroll, right? And that's another thing that I learned from you, which was big. So we actually enrolled 4 people by Wednesday, the week of the challenge. This was good. This was big. And I believe, yeah, I definitely got that from you. And he said, no, like you don't have to wait to talk. You can. Remember, we're sitting at that table when you're telling me that so you can talk to them even a week before the challenge. You can close them. In my head, I'm like, what is she talking about? They didn't even do the challenge. But then I tried, and it works. It works.
Yeah,
So
you can send them to replays of your past challenge, or they don't even need to watch any replays. They're ready to
yeah,
go.
yeah. I
Yeah.
guess some people, I guess what you made me realize that some people are ready to move forward. They
Mm.
are going to be part of the challenge just because, but there are like a few of them that are ready to go. They just want to start,
Mm-hmm.
so you shouldn't, get them to, like, don't have them wait, because you never know, they might go away. Who knows?
Wow, 4 people. So that's like for you, it's 12, an extra 12,000
Yeah,
just because of that one tip, just
yeah,
because you realized that one thing.
that one thing. Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
now that's why now we're enrolling people into my next challenge, but we're already having conversation with them.
Yes.
So my
Yeah.
next challenge is April 10th. So we're already having conversation with them. So
I love that. Another insight that in a moment you're like, wait a minute, I can enroll them now.
yeah,
You mean
yeah,
I've
that
been
was,
losing out on all that income, making them wait until I pitch? Like, imagine every
yeah.
single month, because you've done a lot of challenges, right? You've done, I don't know how many, but you've done more than 5, right? I know.
I'm gonna be on challenge number 14.
Yeah, you've done 14 challenges. That's another question I want to ask you, because a lot of people look at us and what we do when we help people monetize from their groups. Um, and it's much more than that. But I do have some people coming in thinking that all we teach is like to do a challenge. What have you seen that was like, hey, this is, because if that was the case, you probably wouldn't have enrolled. So what made you go, okay, like this is much more than what I think it is? Like, what was that moment for you?
Can you repeat the question again? I missed that. For
Okay, my question was, um, what inspired you to enroll when you already are on your 16th 5-day challenge
yeah.
and
Hmm.
making money and have a team and all of that? You could have been like, oh, I can just continue doing what I'm doing. I don't need to
Yeah. Well,
enroll.
that's a good question because I saw myself like this. I was going like this. It was okay. I was paying the bills, right?
Mhm.
But I was getting some results. It's like, and then I felt like I was like this, right? Now I feel like I'm upward again, which that's what I want. And now I'm having all these big dreams, or like already. I want to buy my mom a house.
Aw. Yeah, that's my next question. How has your life, the perspective of your life and the goals that you have, how has that shifted for you? And one is now you're like, hey,
Yeah, that,
maybe
that
the two
shifted
comic cards.
completely. That shifted completely. I called my wife a few days ago because we were planning to buy a new house, and I'm like, let's build it. Let's buy land and let's build our perfect home with a huge closet, and we're not gonna allow any clothes, like no closet in the room. It's gonna be like separate, a big room. That way, could be like so spacious with lots of lights. That way I could go live without having lights all over, with more like glass. And also, yeah, I mean, my perspective changed, and also better support for my mom, you know, because like they grow old, and we don't know like how much longer they're gonna be around. So that would be one of the things that I would love to do. But the thing is, it's like before, when I used to think about these things, I'm like, it's probably not gonna happen. But now I have a clear vision. I'm like, okay, like I could raise like maybe 100K and give it as a deposit for my mom's home. I could probably buy my land for like 200K and build and get a loan and build my dream home. So now it all makes sense. It all, I could see how I can make it happen. So that's the beauty of like when you have the vision and you have that faith, and also you take action, because listen, like a lot of people don't want to invest in themselves, right? And you're just gonna be stuck where you're at. You're just gonna be stuck, because if Kim is doing it, it's because she knows stuff that you don't know, right? You got to realize that. I follow Myron Golden, and I like when he said, The formula is be, do, have. You need to become smarter. You need to become wiser, and then you're gonna do the right stuff. You're gonna do the right activities, and the right activities will give you the stuff that you wanna have. So it's be, do, have, right? So a lot of time we kind of like take this backward. We wanna have this, we wanna have that, but then we're not investing in the be, which is us, like us as a human being, us, becoming smarter, and so that we can do the stuff that we don't know, because you can't do what you don't know. You can't just make things up. And also time is so valuable. You don't want to waste time in basic videos on YouTube and stuff. You wanna get exactly what works from someone that has done it before, because it's all about, because we're all selling to humans. We're not selling to aliens. So what works for your audience is gonna work for my audience with some tweaks, but most of the main part, the psychology is the same. Human, we haven't changed. The way we communicate have changed in time.
Yeah, we have a very strong ability, which is for when we go on this online space, we're shifting beliefs. We're allowing people to see as a part of life and a perspective of life that they didn't even realize was something for them to be real. And we're allowing them to see that. So, the tools that we have, all the things that we have, it allows us to shift the way that you thought about your life, which is like you were getting to a plateau, to now, hey, instead of just buying a house, let's build it. Let's make it our own. Let's do custom. Let's take care of my mom, let's take care of my parents. Let's buy a house. So it becomes much bigger part of life that now that it has shifted to, because of the tools and because you can see it clearly. I do want to, I love that, Clever. I love that money only enhances the type of person that you are, which is
Yeah.
like you're giving, you think and you dream, you care, you want a better life for those around you. So I love that. That's really touching. It feels really great. I do want to I do want to rewind a little bit. You said that you were at a plateau. Now, some people might go, look at Clifford. He's on his 16th challenge. He's been doing this for a while. He knows how to sell, how to attract, how to have a message, how to help his people. He has a team. How come you were hitting a plateau? What were the things that were holding you back? And maybe that kind of contributed to your decision to invest in us. But can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because some people might be in your same journey, might be in your same seat. They have a team, they're launching, they can sell. Where did you feel like you were hitting a ceiling, looking back on what you know now?
Yeah, I think it all, again, like, it's gonna sound redundant, but it's all like process and system, right? Because that's what you need to scale. Because if you're doing things manually, you could only do it for so many people. It's like making sure you have this one recipe, and not only that, it's like, yes, I had the recipe, but I was using my hands to do that recipe. So, but what I really needed was a machine that can, produce the recipe. Because I couldn't believe that I enrolled 20 something people this month and it was all smooth. It's because of, I my onboarding got better, everything got better. Like I have this process. Before I couldn't even enroll 5 people like for the month. Because yeah, because so much manual steps, and it was unclear, it was not documented, you know. So, but by having a process, a formula, I can enroll 100 people. I can enroll 200 people. It's just a matter of maybe hiring more and like placing, more team members in different areas. Of course, like I'm gonna need like additional account managers because, I have someone that check on my people on a weekly basis. They contact that person if they need something, if they want to schedule a call with me and all that stuff, right? And I mean, even to go to the next level, I'll have to change some stuff. But then again, that's what it is. It's more of like, okay, how can I be a lot clearer on the process? How can I replicate it a lot more instead of, doing something that I can do in 5 minutes? Why am I doing it in 1 hour or two? So, and having that map, that clear vision. And you know what helped me a lot? Like, believe it or not, that that slide that you had with the onboarding, the different pieces, that helped me a whole lot because I'm like, okay, so I need to do this and that and that. And I took that example and I'm like, okay, so what do I have? And this is what I'll do. It might not be exactly like yours, but I'm gonna do this and that and this. I just have the few things to add. Like I think I didn't do the creation of the Google Drive automatically yet, but like I'm adding on top like each and every time because you know how Zapier is, you can always add stuff after or in between everything else. So yeah, process is really what helps you grow and also better leadership, better time management, um, training people too. Like one thing, like I'm super happy that I'm training my sales guy, because now that means that if I have a clear sales process, a script, and everything, that means now I can probably just increase my ad budget and hire my second salesperson and my third one, you know? And that way and I'll still be doing my challenge. I love challenge. I love hosting my challenge. It's a cool event. I get to meet with the people. I get to be with them for a week. I still do mine live. Maybe I'll do two of them recorded. I'm telling you, I have to replicate what works. But right now, it's all live for 5 days. It's pretty brutal. I mean,
It's pretty brutal.
yeah, it's a tough week because I meet with them for an hour for questions and stuff, and then I do the next hour and a half, teaching them cool stuff. So it's about 3 to 4 hours of talking every day nonstop. But it gives me a chance to build rapport with them, get to know them, and get to see, like where they at, and that build massive trust. That build a lot of trust. And hopefully you can swing by one day on day 5, maybe come for like a few minutes. Because most of my people, they do speak English. So most of them will understand. So you should swing by one day.
Why not?
And tell them how important it is to hire a coach. Yeah.
They probably are already sold by then because they enroll into you. But yeah, I love that, Clifford. As we're wrapping up, I know my interviews are usually like an hour long, and the time has passed by like crazy, which I love. I love being able to catch up with you. I love being able to dive into the details because until you're inside of a program, you don't know what transformation can happen, right?
Right.
People have no idea. And everyone comes in at a different level. You come in a little bit more advanced. You already have done challenges. You already have a small team. You already know, a lot of things, copywriting. You ran an agency, so you're a more higher level type of client. And when I talk to you, I'm excited because I'm like, oh, okay, higher level. Let's dive into pieces that work, pieces that didn't work. And for you, it's like, hey, even though I'm a little bit ahead of a lot of people, I was doing a lot of things manually. And so when we installed systems, it allowed you to see a clearer vision on what the next steps are. And if you can see that vision, you can run there a lot faster. And I think, and all you really had to do was just model after what we do. It's not like you had to sit down and try really hard to learn the next thing. It's
Right.
like, well, here's the end goal, and then you can reverse engineer your way there very quickly because of all the skills that you have as well. And so I really like that you pointed that out. It was just like a picture.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, Clifford, if someone was on the fence to coming into Ignite, if they're a good fit, what would you say to them based on your own personal experience? And then also let's end it with, who do you specifically teach? Because there are some people listening in here who, resonate with you, really like your story, want to figure out and find out more about you. So who do you teach? What is it that you teach? And where can they go to find you?
All right. I serve a very specific niche, but it's okay.
I know. I don't even know if they'll be watching this. You're like, right, Kim. You're like, I don't think so. You're so funny.
Yeah. So I mean, people that are on the fence. One thing that I'll say that I learned from one of my past coach, Andy, is that you know if you wanna reach the gold is under the sea. You gotta hang out with divers. If you snorkel, you're not gonna get to that big part because that big part is under the sea. So you gotta hang out with divers. That way you can learn how to dive, not snorkel. And when you join the program, you're gonna not only you're gonna learn the stuff that you don't know so that you implement, but you'll get to teach. I mean, sorry, you get to meet people that are doing more than you because it's about being uncomfortable. It's you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room. I always try not to be the smartest person in the room. If I'm the smartest in the room, then there's a problem. You know, if I'm teaching, okay, but I have to always be somewhere where I'm like, what? She's doing what? You know, for instance, I was so inspired by some of the people that I met at the mastermind. Um, the I forgot her name, the one that does the gymnastic.
Shelly Airy. Yeah.
Yes, she's so inspiring and so nice, and yeah, it's so inspiring that people are getting, they could do that type of stuff with their business. So yeah, I mean, if you're on the fence, if you don't want to be stuck in this hamster wheel, because I was stuck in this hamster wheel for quite a lot of years. Like it's hard to wake up and then you don't know where your next client is gonna be coming from. You're like you're like hoping that you get clients. Now I no longer I don't have that problem anymore. I mean, now my problem is scaling, is hiring better people that can help me manage these leads. I mean, right now I have people that are reaching out left and right, and that I have to maybe like reach out to sometime and all. I mean, I'm getting a flood of clients, and it's all because stuff that I learned from you, stuff that I learned from Doug. Because you don't know what you don't know. So if you're okay where you are, then you're good. But if you want to grow, you got to make the investment. You got to invest in yourself. That's the biggest investment. The investment that you make in yourself is the biggest one because you are the horsepower that can pull the business. The business is not gonna grow by itself. Some people think like, okay, my business will grow once I reach 5 years. You can have 10 years and still be in this hamster wheel. And some people they can start a business and within a year they grow it to 7 figure because they learn the right stuff and they applied and took action. And not only that, get into the program but also take action, right? So yeah, I'm all over social media as Cliff the Sub. I serve a very specific niche. I help Haitians that are in the United States. I help them start their own e-com business, pretty much their own products, or maybe like a white label product, or maybe something that they purchase wholesale. But now I'm gonna open up a little bit more. I have another coach. We might start helping some of them that are coaches or in like service based as well. So we're maybe like we're doing a little extension on my program. So Kim, I mean, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for the invitation, and it was technically it was a blessing meeting you and your team and Larry and the other folks.
No, I love that. Yeah, we have quite a good team. This is something that you should ask in your interview, and this is how I'm gonna close it up as well, which is a statistic thing, which is all right, rapid fire, last couple questions. Time to first win after you enrolled, like how soon did you feel like you got your win? And then time where you felt like you got your return on your investment. And you can be honest, you could say, oh, I didn't feel like I have my return on investment yet. But time to first win, time to return on investment, and then how much have you done since joining in Ignite? And that's like rapid fire last questions.
Yeah, I mean, my first win was at the mastermind. Why? Because remember how you had us do this video to announce our next challenge, and not only that, that post that went crazy. I was like, man, that's it, right? And with my very first challenge, I mean, that's a huge ROI for me. It's obvious, it's obvious. I'm just gonna keep on going up, but it's worth it. And I'm pretty sure, we all know that, because otherwise I wouldn't keep on showing up to the call. And I missed Larry's call yesterday. I was so upset because, you know, I got stuck on the road, because I'm learning and things that I need to train my team, and also technically, I already got my money's worth. You could kick me out.
So time to first return on your investment. Would you say you didn't really answer that in terms of time? Was it like 1 week, 2 weeks,
I'll say like a month
1 month? All right.
once I hosted my first challenge. Yeah, about 3 weeks. It wasn't even a full month. It was 3 weeks.
All
It
right.
was 3 weeks. Yeah.
All right. Time to first win is the first day you enrolled.
The first day. Yeah.
Time to return on your investment, 3 weeks into the program.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. And how much did you do?
Well, here's the thing though. Regularly I'll do 20 to 30 in my challenge. I did 60. So
Hey, that's a big win. That is like
that's a big win.
twice almost.
Yeah.
That's
a big
double
win.
in 1 month.
Now you could feel free to take me to 100K a month. I'll be happy. I'll leave you alone. Just 100K per month, and I'll leave you alone for a while.
All right, Cliff. I love that. All right, you guys, that's the interview. Follow Clifford at where can they go to? Just online, Clifford Decibel?
Yeah, Instagram, I'm Cliff Desab. Facebook, I'm Cliff Desab. I have a personal page. I'm pretty much everywhere.
All right, Cliff Desab is DESSAB. Cliff Desab. All right, let's do that, you guys. Follow Cliff because he's going to be teaching about business as well. So, not just e-com over there. So I'm really excited for your next journey. And I'm excited to see, I want to see your house after it's built. I want to see you take pictures of your studio room. I want to see you with a sign in front of your mom's house, like you closed on your mom's house. I want to see that as we're going along, because Cliff, you're in my world not just for a little bit. This is a multi-year journey. As we grow, you grow, and that's where I'm taking you. So thank you so much for showing up today. I'm actually good when I click end broadcast. You're gonna be in the green room, and then I'm just gonna do a little ending speech here, and then I'll see you in the green room. All right. All right, putting you back in the green room. All right, so that was Cliff. Cliff Decibels, you can find him. He teaches e-com in Creole, so very specific, but he's going to be teaching business later on. So that's really cool. With that said, the reason why I bring my clients into these interviews is because I really want you to know that these people are real. You can find them online. You can talk to them. At the same time, if all you got from this interview was at one point, in your life where someone just flicked the switch and then you just lost all your income to support your house, to support your mom, your dad, and someone could just do that to you, know that there is a different way. Know that you can get here, not in like years and years of your life. It could be in the next months. It could be as you're stepping on forward, because results really don't take time. They take courage. And I'm really excited for those who are already enrolled in Ignite this past round. And I know we have a bunch of calls coming up for this week. So we want to make sure that you get into Ignite. If we're a good fit for you, you're a good fit for us. And hashtag call below, and you can just comment on this video below if you're interested in possibly working with us in order to scale and monetize from your community. All right, so see you guys in the next video.